Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review. We are recording this super late, and do you want to know why? You probably already know why. You know why. This is what we had, or I had mostly, because you only read what? 2,
well,
3 books?
5 count the indies.
Indies doesn't count for this review.
But they do count for the indie review we do on this channel.
Shut up. So, lots of books for this episode. It is the final week of the month, November 27, 2013. And what a final week, guys. I was reading for... First of all, I got these books late. That's why I'm saying I've been reading for hours to get this done. So it is late. Forgive me if I have little inconsistencies. Short but thorough reviews of each book. And... if I yawn about 50,000 times throughout this review. It's been a long night, but I made sure to make this on time.
No news?
No news.
No news.
No news. So, we're starting off with Hawkeye, issue number 14, Kate Bishop's side of the Hawkeye stories. Apparently we're going from one to the other, back to the other one again. Yippity-doo. I hate to say, I really don't care what's going on with Kate, but apparently Kate's gone to L.A. and she has no money. For somebody who's rich, she has no money.
Wow.
So apparently she either ran away from home or whatever. So she has no money. So she wants it. So she puts out a Heroes for Hire flyer. But then she ends up, of course, you knew this was going to happen, a job ends up falling right in her lap. And nobody knows that Kate Bishop is Hawkeye or cares to know that Kate Bishop is Hawkeye. So she meddles in something she's not supposed to with a man named I knew it. I knew I was going to forget his name. The second I put this book down. Flint Ward.
I thought you were going to say Flintstone.
And it turns out that Flint Ward, who didn't see this coming, spoiler alert, kind of, is working for working with Madame Mask. And Madame Mask has it out for Kate Bishop since the beginning of this series. So, for the Kate Bishop side of Hawkeye, Madame Mask is the antagonist, whereas on the Clint Hawkeye side, it's the Bros who are the antagonists.
The Bros are still in there?
Well, if the story would move a little faster, we wouldn't be talking about the Bros anymore, would we? But no!
Yeah,
we have to have Kate's story every other issue.
Yes.
Not that I'm complaining. It was a nice issue. Artwork was interesting. This was written by Matt Fraction and art by, forgot his first name, but Wu. Hawkeye Clint is by Matt Fraction and Aha. No, it's
So
Aha, not
Yeah, Aha. Yeah.
Exactly. This is so silly. I enjoyed this issue, but once again, I would like to get Clint's story moving forward and hopefully ending soon, because I've seen the issue we just got from Clint from everybody's point of view now, including Clint's. I'd like to move forward in the story now instead of staying in the exact same moment and viewing it from somebody. Maybe we'll get the next door neighbor's point of view in the next issue.
Or maybe...
Don't even give them an idea.
Maybe it'll be something that Hawkeye will be working with these people.
Believe it or not, minus the criticism I gave just here, Hawkeye is a series I'm really enjoying. I'm just very not having fun with the point of views from everywhere and back again on the exact same moment in time for about 3 or 4 issues now. Avengers Arena, the final issue, issue 18. There are a couple of deaths in here. I don't want to spoil this book because it's kind of like giving you guys the grand finale of Avengers Arena, which isn't fair or fun. I will say there are a couple of deaths in here, a couple of deaths that we think happen but don't happen. X-23, her connection to this, I believe, plays into All New X-Men, and I'll explain why when we get into All New X-Men. But suffice it to say, Murder World's over. Who survives goes home, and things will never be the same. And Arcade has the best thing of all, 30 videos plus that he's going to be posting about everything that's happened on Murder World from start to end. So even if they don't want to talk about what happened on Murder World, it's going to be in here. Unfortunately, it wasn't VR. So for those of you that thought, hey, everybody's going to live, everybody's coming... No.
Nope.
Metal's gone.
Going number one.
Shut up.
You said you're going to have
I'm not.
VR.
It's not for this issue. It's Metal's gone. He's never coming back, and that really upsets me because he was one of my favorite characters from Avengers, Young Avengers, or Avengers Academy. I'm sorry, Avengers Academy. And I don't think any character is going to be the same. Will I be coming back for, what was it called? They say stay tuned for the next chapter in the Young Avengers with Avengers Undercover.
Oh.
Which does involve Deathlocket again. Deathlocket was a big player in the end of this
nice
series.
cover,
the answer is no. If you like it, you are more than welcome to jump in on issue 1.
Wow.
Issue 1 comes out in...
that's in March.
March.
Well, I got plenty of it. I'll probably take a look at it.
So Mike will be taking over. I'm not reading Avengers.
I said I will take a look at it and see if I like it.
Well, you're going to read issue 1.
And read issue 1. Exactly.
So I'm not. Nope. I'm sorry.
At least it'll be a
I feel
Marvel.
bad enough that I missed out on the first 2 volumes, or first 2 trade paperbacks of Avengers Arena, and we'll see how long it'll take for me to catch up to those 2 titles. Now we're going into Cataclysm. Cataclysm Ultimate Comics X-Men issue 1, and Cataclysm has been the most promoted series going on Marvel right now. Marvel doesn't have really much on this. Me and Brett were talking about this a bit. They really are underplaying Cataclysm. It's like, oh yeah, Cataclysm's going on. You know, it's just gonna wipe out the Ultimate Universe. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it.
Was that really necessary?
That's what Marvel's doing, though.
Yeah, but
they're like, oh yeah, it's happening. This is a really good series, and I'm going to tell you guys, I didn't read Ultimates, you did.
I did.
I read Spider-Man, and I read X-Men, and I'm reading next week issue 2 of the Ultimate, the main Cataclysm series comes out.
Oh, you mean the
Cataclysm, number 2.
Just Cataclysm, okay.
And this book was no exception. It continues from where X-Men left off, apparently. I don't know, I didn't read the last story arc. Love the artwork in this book. You should have actually looked through this. You might have actually liked it, and you should look through this, and maybe if you do like it, we'll share the review next time for this. So, Galactus shows up in this book, unlike Spider-Man, they didn't wait till the very last page to show Galactus. Galactus shows up fairly early in this book, and the X-Men are looking for Pixie, and when Pixie sees Galactus, I'm skipping a bunch of dialogue on purpose because some of it's connected to the previous story, and some of it, read for yourself. And when Pixie sees Galactus, she teleports them away. And for those of you that were worried, I'm skipping a lot of fight here, but Galactus does show up at the end of this book. But for those of you who are wondering what happened to Rick Jones, you know, where did he go, and what was the Watcher from the Ultimate Universe saying about a greater calling? Well, Rick Jones, no sooner than the end of the Hunger series, is back in Cataclysm Ultimate Comics X-Men. So, for those of you that thought Rick Jones is going to be gone for a while, you know. And apparently he's grown up. Or at least that's what it looks like, because he does have that 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
So, Rick Jones will be in the Cataclysm Ultimate X-Men series. So Rick Jones isn't gone, and we'll see what his part plays out, what part he plays in this whole Cataclysm of the Ultimate Universe. What's going to happen, guys? I would love to hear some predictions, because I'm predicting so many different ways this could play out. The Ultimate Universe could be erased, and that's it. No more. The end. The Ultimate Universe could come back, and then like things like Age of Ultron, rewind time, and everybody who died since Ultimatum could be back. There are so many possibilities to the end of this series, or things could just go back and Miles will be missing.
They're going to rewind time, because that's what Marvel's best at doing. You know, it's going to happen one way or another.
And my other question is, will Galactus ever go back to the 616 universe? Will he ever make it home?
You mean Galactus or Galactus?
Galactus. The 616 Galactus. Will he ever make it home?
That one.
That's my
Do you think
question.
they're going to have a Galactus versus Galactus fight? Because that would be
No,
something.
they already merged together and then separated.
No, I'm just saying, if they, you know...
No.
That would be something to see, actually.
No.
Never know.
We're gonna stick with the X-Men since we did the Ultimate Comics X-Men. We're going into Wolverine and the X-Men issue 38. After reading this, I now understand why Wolverine and the X-Men will be ending in March. No, we got up to February. Why it's gonna be ending in February. I don't know if we're gonna get another. I can't remember off the top of my head if there's gonna be one more story arc before this, but apparently. S.H.I.E.L.D. Maria Hill goes to Wolverine and says she's not coming to apologize to the X-Men for having Sentinels and having dropped bombs on them. She's not apologizing for anything, that the X-Men have saved the world a bunch of times, but they also were the reason for the world being in peril quite a number of times. And the X-Men versus basically the schism between Cyclops and Wolverine and everything that happened from AVX, yeah, that is a huge reason why S.H.I.E.L.D. is basically always going to keep an eye on the X-Men and the mutants. And Wolverine says in return, hey bub, you know what? We're going to be watching you all the time too. And can somebody tell me why they feel the need to now merge books together? Because to my knowledge, it was Dazzler. This is a spoiler, so for those of you that didn't know this, because I told Brant thinking Brant knew, and he was like, you just spoiled something for the book for me. But for those of you that didn't know, this is a bit of a spoiler maybe if you're not reading Uncanny X-Men like myself. Apparently Dazzler is really Mystique. I don't like that they decided to cross over events in the... I don't know. I don't read Uncanny X-Men, so I don't know how Mystique... First of all, I don't know where the real Dazzler is then. And second of all, I don't know how Mystique is... playing as, you know, why she's pretending to be Dazzler.
Maybe it fit in the X-Men.
Maybe.
Or did
you keep a count and I'll kill you.
I want to see if you're going to get up to 50.
We're not going to get up to 50.
I know if you yawned before.
We're not going to get up to 50. So, also there are two new students, a brother and sister, who are now going to be attending the Jean Grey School. And Brew actually is giving them a tour. Here's the atrium of the Xavier School, of the Jean Grey School of Higher Learning. And Wolverine has his own vendetta against S.H.I.E.L.D. And also Kid Omega is back. Just saying. So for those of you that weren't keeping count, apparently this happened in the Wolverine and the X-Men special, which was a tie-in, or at least it was quoted as a... Yeah, it is an Infinity tie-in, and I'm not reading Infinity, so I did not pick up the annual. But apparently that's where Kid Omega rejoined with... the X-Men. It is Kid Omega, right? They don't have the roster at the beginning anymore, do they? They do, but they don't have him at the moment. No, and Kid Omega is Quentin Quire. Why can't I remember this guy's name? Kid Gladiator, my bad. It's Kid Gladiator. Kid Gladiator is back with the Jean Grey School. And let's just say that ever since the breakup, Iceman hasn't been the same pleasant self. Dishing out the tension everywhere. And basically, S.H.I.E.L.D. or Mystique, Dazzler, knows that Wolverine was hacking into their systems to find information out about the, location of their first-tier storage facilities. And also, and here we go, connecting with the Uncanny X-Men, so have the Uncanny X-Men. And guess what? Wolverine's going to these storage facilities, and so is Cyclops. And we find out, another bit of a spoiler alert here, but Dazzler, Mystique, has those two, the brother and sister. They're not really new students. They are undercover agents for S.H.I.E.L.D. or for Mystique. What exactly, if they're for Mystique or S.H.I.E.L.D., nobody knows. I'm left with my hands up in the air. I don't know if they're there under Mystique or if they're there under S.H.I.E.L.D. and Mystique is actually Mystique as Dazzler, these students believe, or these undercover agents who aren't mutants, by the way. They're taking these pills that actually kick in the X gene, but then after a while it wears off. But I don't know if they're there under Mystique's orders or under Dazzler, believing Dazzler is part of S.H.I.E.L.D., S.H.I.E.L.D.'s orders. So that's up in the air. So we have S.H.I.E.L.D. invading the Wolverine school, and Wolverine invading S.H.I.E.L.D. now, along with Cyclops, who's going to be joining him soon also. And I'm starting to see a pattern of why this is going to end soon, because if you read the dialogue in the book, you'll see that nobody trusts mutants anymore, and the school is supposed to promote, you know, a lot of things, and as you're seeing things are deteriorating, and the children in the school are actually being put under more danger than the ones that are working with Cyclops at times. So, look, I don't know when this schism between Cyclops and Wolverine is going to be over. We all know it's going to happen. We don't know when. We don't know where. It's just like us waiting for Peter Parker to come back. We don't know when. We don't know where. But it's going to happen soon. Now, I figure Peter Parker is going to come back around the same time Amazing Spider-Man hits, which is the summer. And there's going to be a major event in Spider-Man. Now, when X-Men Days of Future Past comes out, will the schism be over? Will it not be over? I don't know, but I'm tired of this schism. I'm tired of there being a million X-Men teams. I'd rather they all just work together and then have subdivisions like they used to. That's just my little rant there for X-Men. All New X-Men issue 19. This plays into what I believe is, after Avengers Arena, X-23, you don't see her at the end of the book. At least we don't know if Wolverine actually does see her at the end of the book. All we know is she was left in the wilderness. In this book, the all-new X-Men, along with Kitty Pryde, find Laura and try to save her from the... Oh, jeez, why can't I remember their names? The... Poop.
The poop?
The poop, yes.
The poop.
The... Oh, God, why are their names completely leaving me? Is it at the beginning? No, it's not S.H.I.E.L.D. No. The cult. There's a cult that's against the mutant kind. I cannot remain. I cannot get the. But anyway, it's the all new X-Men versus them, and Jean actually accesses one of their minds and sees all the horrors that they've done throughout their time, and they stop them. And Cyclops actually wants to work with the police, but yeah, the police, it's Cyclops. Even though I like young Cyclops, it's not going to work because of what his present-day self did. And Kitty Pryde is chasing after Laura, who apparently has no memory of who she is, nor of anything else. She's completely blank.
Wow.
And from this last page, it kind of shows that it looks like it's from back in the Avengers Arena, so a little bit of a spoiler. Here's what Laura looks like at the end of the book. So this could be very much fresh off of what happened in Avengers Arena. Good question. That's a very good question.
That is a good question.
So we'll see what happens in the next issue, but apparently the next issue has X-23 making out with Scott Summers. Will Laura get her memory back? What role is she going to play in the Uncanny X-Men and All New X-Men? I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
X-23 and Cyclops together?
They're making out on the cover.
First Cyclops with Jean Grey, then with Emma Frost, now with X-23, that doesn't make
past Cyclops.
Oh, so it's well, what happened with the whole Cyclops Jean Grey?
Jean and Beast apparently still have this thing that they're working out.
Oh, God.
It will hurt your brain. Don't think about it.
I'm trying not to. That just made my brain scramble all of a sudden. You know, it's going a million directions.
Left out a lot of dialogue. This was very action-packed. It has the cult that's after against mutants, which I know somebody will probably let me know in the comments or somewhere, and the all-new X-Men fighting them, and then also Kitty Pryde trying to get through to Laura, who has no memory of who she is or who Kitty Pryde apparently is. And the next issue, as you saw from the final page, looks like Kitty Pryde's going to be in the fight for her life. But again, she's able to be phased through, so she has her ghost powers. So
see what happens.
And here we go. We're now on the Spider-Man side of the Marvel U. Yeah, we got a lot of books this week from both Marvel and DC. Scarlet Spider 24, setting up for the final issue. Kane is very upset about himself, and he's back to his whiny self. So anybody who was upset that he wasn't whining, he doesn't want to be the Scarlet Spider yet again. Tries to burn the costume. Says, "I'm not a hero anymore. I'm the reason why everybody's getting hurt and dying."
Whiny? Just after that whole thing when he turned into that that monster and everything. That's god, that must have took a toll on him.
And then Arsley has another premonition, which apparently isn't going to matter anymore because, yeah, Scarlet Spider's ending, or at least for now. Who knows with the all-new Marvel now, we might not get that back. Wally shows up, and because of what happened with Donald and everything, he basically is taking Kane in. He's under arrest. And he says, "Tell the truth, I know you're a murderer, you're this, you're that." He's right. He's like, "Yes, you're right. You know what? I don't want anybody else to die, so I surrender." And then Annabelle was in the hotel room with him, but she wasn't. The real Annabelle was in the elevator coming to his apartment with Zoe. Those of you remembered Zoe? Think back a couple of story arcs. The nutso girl with the father who Kane put into a coma. And guess what she has? The lovely rocket launcher. So basically, everything Kane's done is just getting thrown at him at the end of this issue. Oh, and the person who wasn't Annabelle apparently is one of the people from, I believe, the beginning of the issue, the beginning of the series or whatever.
That's ironic.
It's ironic because Kane slept with her.
Yeah.
And it's an explosive ending to this issue, and the next issue is the end. So everything now is, quite frankly, blowing up in Kane's face. So what's going to happen? Is this truly the end of the Scarlet Spider? Will Kane, leave Texas for real?
And stop being whiny?
I mean, we all know he's going to be in the New Warriors in February. But is he going to remain the Scarlet Spider in Austin, Texas? Or is it over? Is this the end? No more? No hope for a follow-up series in the all-new Marvel now? Which I'm actually hoping there will be a follow-up, but definitely with somebody who makes him less whiny.
Yeah.
Or at least make his personality less whiny in the new run, if there is going to be a new run. There were a couple of teasers that were not revealed yet, so maybe Scarlet Spider's one of them, but...
I just feel superheroes should never doubt him or herself. Because...
Well, he's not a superhero. He said it right at the beginning.
Yeah, but he...
didn't want to be a superhero.
I don't get why they do that.
I don't know either. Superior Carnage issue 5 was the biggest cop-out ever. So it ended, the last issue ended with the Wizard getting the Carnage symbiote. And he was Carnage for about half the book. And then, remember how we were talking about, the Wizard leaving Cletus Cassidy's body in the apartment, and there was the explodey? Apparently, Superior dug up Cletus's body. The symbiote leaves for no reason the Wizard and reattaches to Cletus Cassidy. There's Carnage. And then it's Superior Spider-Man versus Carnage for a brief moment. Literally brief. And as fast as Cletus Cassidy became Carnage again, he lost Carnage again. Now, here we go. The whole point of Superior Carnage. Apparently, the Carnage symbiote can fix things. The Wizard's dementia, fixed. But now, wait. If the symbiote was able to repair the Wizard's brain, then that means the symbiote can repair somebody else's brain. So, for those of you that were really upset with the whole outcome of, was it Minimum Carnage? Cletus Cassidy has his brain back by the end of this issue. So, Superior Carnage, what was this entire miniseries about? It was about getting Cletus Cassidy's mind back while having him lose the symbiote for a time to...
recuperate.
No, to one doctor who then goes to the Wizard, which then goes right back to Cletus Cassidy, fixes Cletus's mind, fixes the Wizard's mind, and that's the end of the series.
Yeah, like fixing the mind.
So what happened in this series? What was the point of this series? Nothing but to fix what happened at the end of Minimum Carnage. Nothing more. With some nice artwork and some nice scenes here, there, and everywhere, but nothing fundamentally new happened except a fix to what they did in Minimum Carnage. That's it. So Cletus Cassidy was a complete, drooling, mindless person at the beginning of 2013, and in the very last month, or the second to last month of 2013, Cletus Cassidy now has his mind back. So every Carnage event this year basically brought him right back to point A. So he went from point A to point B, and then point B just sent him right back to point A. So we're right back to point A. And it all leads into, guess where? Is it in January? I want to make sure first.
Oh, no.
It all leads into the Carnage annual in February of 2014. With Cletus Cassidy as Carnage again. Carnage will return in Carnage Homecoming on sale February 2014.
Wow.
Yes, that's right. We saw
Is
that.
Is that story arc gonna make any sense? Like
I don't
this
know.
one really did.
I mean, you read this along with me. First of all, the Superior Carnage costume was stupid. It leaving Cletus Cassidy was dumb.
Don't remind
It went
me
back
of
to
this.
Cletus Cassidy, and that's it.
Do not remind me of the costume change.
And now we've got Superior Spider-Man issue 22.
Oh dear Lord, what happened in this?
Nothing. Parker Industries started. And apparently Doc Ock, Spidey, hold yourself for this, and Anna Marie, they do it. They do it right in Parker Industries. Oh yeah. Oh, and that annual that you got that we're getting next for the next episode, apparently that plays heavily into this too, because Peter Parker had a huge revelation by the end of that, or Doc Ock had a huge revelation by the end of this book, and he's putting his priorities in check. And you know, life is precious, and he actually fixes Aunt May so she doesn't even have to have the cane anymore. Carly's missing. But, I forgot who this woman was. I forgot who she was. I don't think her name's in the beginning of the book either.
I don't think so.
No. But anyway, Venom's back in town because, at the very beginning of the book, as you see...
Is it Eddie Brown Venom or Flash?
Flash.
Aw.
But, I knew it. Do I want to continue or do I want to wait? Alright, when we come back, yeah, we got another book from Marvel anyway. When we come back, we'll finish off Marvel and we'll continue through the DC. So don't be surprised if we actually have to switch cameras after the next part. So stay tuned and we'll be right back after these messages from our commercials and sponsors. So hang tight, we'll be right back. And we're back. Welcome back to this week's Dark Avenger Comic Book review, everybody. And we were talking about Superior Spider-Man, and Flash Thompson's back in New York because Crime Master apparently has resurfaced, and Betty called on Agent Venom, and apparently one of the Spider-Bots sees Agent Venom, and that's when Spider-Man finally comes into the book. Oh look, most of the book's gone already. There's only a couple pages left, and Mayor J. Jonah Jameson actually is concocting a plan against Spider-Man, using his Spider-Bots, possibly.
Yeah, we didn't see that coming.
So, enter Spider-Man, and at first, Venom thinks Spider-Man's there to put an end to Crime Master, but apparently, Spider-Man's there to stop Venom. And Venom's like, wait, Spidey, it's me, Flash, you know? We're on the same team. You know me. Trust me, I have the symbiote under control. And he's like, sorry, Flash. You must have me confused with somebody who cares. To be continued.
It said maybe, didn't it? To be continued.
It's going to be continued.
Oh.
Now, Flash Thompson Venom is still in the Thunderbolts, and Flash Thompson Venom is also in other books. Secret Avengers, for example.
Yeah.
So, will we all know that Flash is probably going to end up keeping the symbiote. However, I think the symbiote, there's a talk that the symbiote picks a new host for this series, and I think I know who it is.
Eddie Brock.
Doc Ock.
Doc Ock?
I think the symbiote goes back to Peter Parker.
Oh, and that's not good because that has really invincible powers, and Doc Ock is a villain. Forget it.
One thing I want to know is how the symbiote told Eddie Brock that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, but when the Venom
Eddie Brock
symbiote...
saw he was Spider-Man when he ripped
No. In the comic books, the symbiote told him.
Well, yeah, because it was attached to Spider-Man knowing it was Peter Parker.
So how come the symbiote didn't tell him that Peter Parker was Spider-Man and Eddie Brock... Well, he knew Eddie Brock was the first host. Why didn't the symbiote tell Flash Thompson who Spider-Man was?
Either it's because it's Marvel now or because they're just changing
Plot
the
hole?
whole plot hole. I was going to say plot hole. It could be that.
Now, don't let this cover fool you. It's Nova issue number 10, but they say Nova 100 because it's 100 issues of Nova throughout the many, many Nova series and volumes. I actually have the very first ever Nova book. And in this book, Sam has a contract that he has to sign with his mom. And basically, it's to join the New Warriors. And Sam gets a little pissed off. He's like, you tell me no to join the Avengers, but then when it comes to these losers, you're like, oh yeah, sure, just sign the contract and it's okay. And they end up staying the night, and I feel bad for Sam. He's, you know, his what's her name? I want to make sure I got her name right. Carrie. Carrie wants to talk to Sam about knowing that he's Nova, and he's like, I can't just go up and tell people this. And she's like, you're a jerk. And he's like, wait, I'm trying to tell you that I am Nova. And then the mother's there, and she's like, why are you out here? You know, you're supposed to ask for permission before you go off as Nova. He's trying to explain to her. She's not listening. He puts on the Nova hat, and he flies off and has a nice conversation with the Watcher, who then shows him Nova in the New Warriors and Nova as an Avenger. And as you can see, Nova as an Avenger is all the way in the back. And Sam learns that the Avengers don't need Nova as much as the New Warriors do, and he signs the contract and everything's fine. Second story, well, first you get all 100 covers of Nova. Second story actually plays into what's to come in the Nova series, which I'm not going to spoil here. But I am going to say one thing. The last page, it plays a huge role in what's to come for Sam in the coming issues. Basically, he's in space. The principal from his school is saying, you know, he hasn't been around in a while.
Then again, he should recover from it sooner or later.
Yeah, and he's in jeopardy of having to repeat his grade over again. I don't like the principal. He's a real jerk. And Sam's off in space saving a fleet from these space things. And as it comes back to Earth, that's where the thing I'm not going to spoil happens, and that's going to definitely play into issue number 11 of Nova. And then there's a funny little Nova 1000, a sneak peek in Nova 1000.
Wow.
Which has Sam as an old man and his son actually taking over as Nova. It's a spoof, more or less. And that's it, for the most part. This is a really good story. I love the artwork in this book. I love the story. There's tons of talent in this book, tons of artwork, tons of writers. And Sam definitely learns what it is to be a Nova, and it actually helps build on why he joins the New Warriors and is no longer upset about not joining the Avengers. And like I said, the second story, huge ramifications. Things happen to Sam that definitely will be playing into the next story arc, at least the next story arc. Maybe not, who knows? Maybe it'll be the next, you know, all the way through, or maybe it's just for the next story arc. But I loved it. Definitely worth the $4.99 price tag. Huge story, really involved, tons of dialogue, left it all out on purpose because you should be reading Nova. Next to Hawkeye, Nova is one of my favorite series out of Marvel. Now we're going into the other side of the spectrum, DC Comics. And before we get into the week of the 27th, we're going back to the week of the 13th. The first of 3 books I missed. Next episode, I get the final 2 books. Didn't know I missed 3 books, and ironically, it was Nightwing, Smallville, Suicide Squad, all 3 in a row, and I missed all 3. And we're talking in this episode about Nightwing issue 25. Nightwing is part of Haley Circus. This is a 0-year tie-in. So this is way back where Nightwing, Dick Grayson, was in Haley Circus. This plays into a lot of things, a lot of like how he played a role in how his parents. He didn't play a role, but it connects with him being the fault for his parents' death in a way, and how he was a huge spotlight ham in the latest show, and he's not a team player. He's very like one-man show. And what he learns in this issue is sometimes you need teamwork. You need to work as a group and not, leave other people behind in order to, survive, so to speak. So this is during the blackout and before the storm hits Gotham. The blackout happens and Dick Grayson's in the at the movies, and I don't know where this guy came from, but I don't know where this thing comes out of a hospital. We don't know how he got there. We don't know why he's there, or maybe we do, and I'm just completely forgetting from previous issues because so much is going on in 0 Year at once. But he chases after Dick and his newfound friends, CJ. I believe one of them is actually part of the Green Team. And Brant, if you're watching this, correct me if I'm wrong. It's CJ. Josh. I think CJ is the one from the Green Team, if I'm not mistaken. And what happens is CJ's father's a very important person, and this also leads into what happened with Nightwing. That's why I'm not sure if he's part of the Green Team or not. I don't read the Green Team. And he actually leaves his friend Josh behind because he twists his leg, and he's sprained. He's like, I'm too important to wait here, and so you guys will have to fend on your own. So Dick actually is the one that stays behind and tries to, get them all out of there in one piece. CJ gets in trouble, and he actually goes back and saves CJ too. And we get to see a little bit of that Nightwing in Dick before he becomes Nightwing. And in the end, like I said, he learns a valuable lesson that, then he needs to be a team with his other co-workers, so to speak, or the other people he works with on the circus, and not just be a one-man show. I love how in the end he's like, stars are overrated. This was a good one. This was really good. Compared to the other books that came out on the 13th, I would highly recommend Nightwing most of all. Left out a bunch of stuff. Probably confused the hell out of most of you guys because I confused myself halfway through this this review. But really good book. Definitely recommend this. Once again, you don't need the 0 Year issues for all the series to understand what's going on in 0 Year. Once again, it's just an excuse for DC to cover over another issue, especially with Forever Evil going through the DC Universe. 0 Year is to basically glaze over Batman for the next year in modern, in present day times, and basically it's helping push these other books like Nightwing, Flash, and all the other books forward a little bit, in the months. This way, by the time Forever Evil's over, the ramifications in all the books will have already taken place. This book is the home book for me. This makes me feel like the old DCU is still around, even though it's not, and I'm glad it takes a title from the old DC Universe. Adventures of Superman, issue number 7. This is the Superman I grew up with. This is the Superman I love. I don't care that they don't show any of the Lois Lane Superman moments like they should. This is the Superman. This is not the New 52 Superman. This is not for new readers who are loving the new Superman, which, by the way, Superman hasn't grown at all in sales with this New 52 look. So you'd think DC would fix that, but of course not. This book is a highly recommended book. If you want to know the real Superman, what Superman means, this is the book for you. This book has 2 stories in it. First story is about a bunch of people who think Superman is their savior, so they jump off buildings so that he could save them. And there's this big meeting where over 900 people are going to jump off their buildings, at the exact same time, and Superman has to save them all. Although Superman does have a plan to show them that he's not as super as they really think he is. And I like that they showed Emil Hamilton, the one that I'm familiar with in this series.
Mm-hmm.
And they realize it, and none of them end up jumping, which, thank you God, none of them did. And then the second story is Superman versus Darkseid, with a side story about a little orphan girl. And I'm sorry, this is Superman. This is Superman. I wish DC Comics would wake up and see that, hey, we're writing the real Superman right here. We should put this Superman in the New 52 instead of making it just a digital only or digital first story.
Or not make them laugh at things that are...
We're not talking about that issue.
I'm just saying...
I'm alright I'm putting that issue out of my mind. We're not talking about Action Comics 25. No.
I'm just saying, no, this
not
is
talking
the
about
Superman.
This is Superman. This is my book of the week from DC Comics. Regardless that it's a digital first book, I love this book so much. I love the story. This was Superman. And you know what sucks? There are 2 Superman books that come out every month from the main series, the main New 52 series, and only 1 Adventures of Superman per month. I wish Adventures of Superman came out twice a month, and the Action Comics and Superman only came out, as a combined book or something. Because this is the Superman I want to read more of, not the Superman that they're giving us in the New 52. Just my opinion. Look, I'm sure somebody out there disagrees with me, but this is Superman. True Superman. Now a book that almost everybody did drop on Dark Avenger Inc. except me, because I love Larfleeze. Larfleeze number 5. Larfleeze is now the prisoner of the Orange Lantern Corps. He no longer has his ring, and he's basically their slaves. I'm not going to divulge anything that's going on with Stargrave. And yes, it is a big, major part of this book. Like, literally, I mean, the book is called Larfleeze, yet... Let's see, we stop with Larfleeze here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Well, 4. 4 pages in a row of, first of all, tons of dialogue with Stargrave. And the Wanderer, who's getting on my nerves that she can't remember anything. And then... basically, Larfleeze refuses to be a slave to the Orange Lantern Corps, and he actually has a vision about his mother, and she's like, and remember in the special, how he was like, I saved this, and really he didn't, or I led the group out, and he didn't. The mother finally, or the hallucination he's having, finally says, how about it's time you woke up and realized the truth. You're over, how old is Larfleeze? You're over hundreds of billions of years old. Maybe you forgot. It's time you stop telling yourself stories and you actually remember what you did. And it turns out that Larfleeze was an Orange Lantern before he was an Orange Lantern. He was selfish and only thought about himself. And he would do anything to get anything. And Larfleeze is just, he's not willing to believe that. He wants to believe that he was a hero, that he saved his people. And he's like, I did free the slaves. I did. And that's really where it ends. I'm liking this series. It's really building up, or fleshing out Larfleeze a lot. If you guys gave up on this book because it was too out there, this book gets very serious in this issue. There's no joke. There's no more laugh ha-has or, I am the greatest, da-da-da-da. This actually, first of all, Larfleeze is humbled in this book, and shit got real now. That's the best way to put it is, it got serious now. It's not as joking or as ha-ha like every other page has some funny shtick to it. This finally got, serious. It got real, and it's I think everybody should be reading or checking or maybe give Larfleeze another shot. Just go back to the last issue where the Orange Lanterns took over and started using Larfleeze as their power battery. But it really got huge. In my opinion, it definitely built up a lot, and it's not a joke book anymore as much.
Get ready for this one. All-Star Western featuring Jonah Hex, issue number 25. The Adventures. What did you mean? Get ready. The Adventures of Jonah Hex and John Constantine. From what we saw from the last issue, and yes, I was...
You're kidding.
Well, first of all, there are demons who are against Constantine. I mean, he's always causing trouble with these demons and stuff like that.
But All-Star Western isn't even part of the dark side of the DC universe.
Yeah, but he met him at this thingamajigger.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. So, here's some artwork of the Adventures of Jonah Hex and John Constantine at the Weirdo Sex Festival, fighting off this big demon who we saw from the last issue to be continued, where all hell was going to break loose. So they're working together, and the demon looks into All-Star Western's soul, and there's just a bunch of stuff. Jonah Hex, yeah. And there's just like a bunch of memories that he sees, because, you know, he just says that he is the Hex of all sinners, and John Constantine with a, it's like he's always using a blade to capture these entities in there, as we saw from the John Constantine book. It was, I think, a soul blade of how he defeated him. And they don't trust John Constantine because of him leaving them before, but he has like something that he tells them, which you guys should absolutely read this comic book, that has more to do with lots of stuffs that they have to go through, and we get more about John Constantine with magic, and then here's Swamp Thing. I know. Every time John Constantine's book, there is Swamp Thing, because John Constantine said that Swamp Thing could help them out, and this actually takes place before Swamp Thing issue number 25.
Okay, with the cedar, yeah.
With the cedar and everything. And he said that the Swamp Thing could help them out with how Jonah Hex could get back home in his own time. And he tells them that he can try to help him with a certain door. And from what happens with Swamp Thing in the end, Swamp Thing gets a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And that's all I'm going to say.
Why every time there's a John Constantine,
there's a Swamp Thing? Because John Constantine and Swamp Thing, you know, they never get along with each other. Now, don't get me wrong, this was a great issue.
I'm glad I'm not reading it.
Yeah, this was a great issue, and almost book of the week, because there's another book that actually beat All-Star Western, which we will get to later on in this review. Almost book of the week, though, but I would say if you want to pick it up, great issue, but yeah.
This week's Zero-Year tie-in, The Flash issue number 20... I thought I said 23, 25. I was about to question it. So this is before Barry Allen becomes the Flash, obviously, and he's working with the Gotham City Police Department for a while. At the end of the book, he goes right back to Central City, though. And there's a small case going on where these people are using this drug called the first page. Why can't I remember it? The Icarus. Yeah, what was it?
Yeah, Icarus power. Or
Icarus powder, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's a drug that basically gives them amplified speed, but they explode from the inside out. So they basically spontaneously combust due to the drug. And bigger things are going on in the Gotham City Police Department. The agents that Barry's working with don't want to bother dealing with that. They want, they have other more important things to do than deal with a bunch of drugged up, homeless people, as they say. So Barry says, no, that's not the case at all. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm not leaving Gotham, And also we get the first meeting of Iris and Barry, actually.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, Iris is working for the Gotham City Gazette at this time. And, yeah, you get to see that romance between Barry and Iris. And, yeah, I'm sure at some point in the present day we're going to see Iris and Barry get together once Barry breaks up with his current squeeze. There is definitely a twist at the end of this story, though, about who's involved with the Icarus drug. And Barry actually has a hallucination with the drug about being a superhero. Ironically, it looks a lot like when he actually became the Flash.
Nice.
And long story short, Barry leaves right before the storm hits Gotham. I am going to spoil this one page. This page was awesome and should be made a poster of the lightning bolt. And you got Barry.
So if you hear him, DC,
and
he wants
Iris.
a poster of that.
And Barry goes back to Central City. Left out a bunch of stuff. The twist especially I left out because that's just something you got to read for yourself. Because when I didn't spoil this book, I read from beginning to end, and you'll definitely be shocked by the twist section of this book once you get towards the end of the book with who's involved with the A.R.G.U.S drug, so to speak. This book, once again, interrupts the Flash stories. You know, it cuts out for 1 month. And, yeah, it's a zero-year tie-in. It's where it all began, where Barry's, trying to play the hero without actually having the powers. And then, of course, he becomes the Flash and yada yada. But you didn't need this issue for 0 year.
No.
It wasn't important. If you want to know what happened with Barry during 0 year, then you would want this, but if not, you don't.
Isn't any 0 year like just now important because it's just really an origin story that's interrupting a story that's taking place? It's like saying, oh, we're going to leave you off after we talk about the origin story. It's like we've already heard the origin story before from issue 1. I'm just saying.
Alright, I'm giving you guys warning. I have to spoil a little bit of this book so that I can explain my feelings towards it. So be ready, and if you don't want to hear it, wait till I put the book down and come back for the next book. Damian, Son of Batman, issue number 2. Oh, you gotta be kidding. Okay, so apparently the Batman that Damian was with in the last issue was not Bruce Wayne. The Batman that Damian was with at the beginning of last issue that died was Dick Grayson. Bruce Wayne was retired.
Dick Grayson?
This is his father now.
Dick Grayson is Damian's father?
No, Dick Grayson was Batman in the last issue. The Batman that died. And
whoa.
Bruce is pissed off at Damian because Damian's been going around assassinating all the supervillains. And Damian's trying to explain to his father about, how, it had to be, that things have been better since then. And the father's like, no, you're no longer my son, you're no longer my heir, you brought shame and disgust to the line. And then Damian does something that slips Bruce into a coma. And he runs off. And, ironically, like we figured, and it only took 1 issue, go figure, Damian dons the Bat costume. His own Bat costume.
Wow, I thought it would be,
I thought it would be at least 1 more issue. Yeah, I know, nope. Apparently he becomes Batman and says, I know what I did was wrong, I'm gonna make you proud of me one way or another, I'm gonna,
So he does the Batman just to prove something towards
He becomes Batman, and he says he's not going to let him or Dick down, and he goes off in search of, I believe, the Joker.
Oh, of course, the Joker is part of the main villain.
Mm-hmm. But he comes up face to face with Pig, ironically. And I question the nurse that's with Bruce Wayne at the moment, but
yikes.
Yeah. But Bruce was awake when Damian said, I'm going to prove, I'm going to prove that I can, I'm going to make up for all the stuff I did. I'm going to make good on everything, and I'm going to make you and Dick proud. And I'm not going to spoil the rest of the book.
I really like
but
the glossy covers that they use in some issues.
I love it. Anything that's $3.99 has this glossy cover.
Yeah, because All-Star Western, I believe, had that as well.
I like this issue. It was really good. However, really? It was Dick Grayson Batman, and you gave us that big old cliffhanger at the end of the last issue just to say, oh, by the way, that was Dick. Yeah, Bruce is alive, but now put into a coma thanks to Damian. So Damian has to be Batman now.
I thought maybe the next issue. Well, at the end it showed.
We're at the halfway point. This is the halfway point. It's only a 4-issue series.
Right. So in the next issue, it'll just show him being the Batman throughout the whole issue.
And once again, they're talking a lot about Damian. I have a feeling at some point Damian's going to show up again in the regular.
Well, yeah, Damian's son of Batman. I mean, he's not going to be gone forever.
And with that, we have a minute left, so we're going to switch cameras, and we will be right back with the rest of DC Comics, and then we'll close out the show. So hang tight, and we will be right back. And we're back. It was literally the click of a button. I don't know why I was like, we'll be right back. It's literally just beep, and we're there. So anyway, we got a couple books left. Superman, issue 25, concluded. Krypton's return. I don't know why, but this series kind of... First of all, it makes me want to go back and get Supergirl 0 year, because apparently Superboy was in that issue. And Superboy didn't even have to fight Hell. Hell couldn't hold himself together. Superman comes face to face, not with Hell like I thought, but with his father, 30 years older, and from the future where, from a timeline where Krypton didn't end, and they thought Jor-El was a madman. They banished him to, or they sentenced him to a lifetime of hard labor, and then Hell came and everything changed, and basically Jor-El, like Superman, is in that time to stop Hell from saving Krypton and helping time move forward the way it should. It then goes to Supergirl's part where she's fighting Hell, but Hell actually helps her kill him, which was kind of like, oh, okay, turning the page. And then Superman and Jor-El versus Hell. Jor-El wants to just kill. Now, okay, I want everybody. I want...
kill?
No, wait. I want everyone who said that Superman kills. You know, the argument for the Man of Steel movie with the neck snap. Everybody who says, yeah, Superman had no choice. Okay, Jor-El is killing Hell, and out of nowhere, you know, it's it. You know, Krypton's saved. All Superman has to do is just watch Hell die, thanks at the hands of his father. Superman stops him and says, no, there's always another way. And he's like, I'm sorry, what kind of universe is worth saving if it's saved through murder? And Superman doesn't kill Hell. He uses Hell's molecular structure to actually, oh, what was it? I'll go back to Superboy. To leave Hell in limbo and basically preserve the core of Krypton so that Krypton could live. Superboy, however, it's not a big spoiler here. He's the reason why Argo City gets off or takes off into space, and he basically is engulfed in Krypton's explosion because he was the one that was sent closest to the time of explosion, and by Superboy. That Superboy no longer exists. Now we only have the son of Superman and Lois Lane, Superboy. Superman gets the portal back. He goes back, meets with Kara, and they're like, Oracle, where's Superboy? He gives the face. They all know, and Kara's like, what can we do? Is there anything we can do? And he's like, yes, we can go home to Earth and honor our loss of a life that made it possible for you, me, and me to stop the incalculable deaths across the universe. We won, all three of us. And I'm leaving the last page up to you guys if you want to see, but that was kind of heartwarming, the last page, sort of, which gives us that kind of like, maybe it's not over, but it is. And, yeah, so Superboy's dead. Supergirl and Superman head back home to Earth. However, I don't see how long that's going to last, since Kara is going to become a Red Lantern in February. Interesting to see where that goes in Supergirl.
Yep.
And in the next issue of Superboy, for those of you that are wondering, hey, Superboy died, what about next month's issue? Issue 26. We're going to talk about issue 26 by the when I get to another book, so stay tuned. Up to you guys. I thought Krypton Returns was good. Could have been a little longer, need a little bit more substance, but oh well. And speaking of Red Lanterns, issue 25 of Red Lanterns. In this issue, it's mentioned that Guy Gardner got the Red Lantern Sector 2814 to police, and no greens are allowed there. That basically the main authority are the Red Lanterns. And I like a lot of the things that are being teased for future things. Atrocitus is still looking for a Red Lantern ring. Apparently, one of the Red Lanterns, I won't spoil who, is somehow losing his Red Lantern ring, and he knows he's going to lose it, but he's like, not yet, I need a little bit more time. And he actually does end up keeping the ring, but it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And then, what's mentioned between the Red Lanterns is we have to take down somebody publicly. We have to show them that we're the law of Sector 2814, and Guy Gardner learns of this guy called, and it's in this issue, it's in this page, where was it? Field Marshal Gensu, and they make this plan to go after Gensu and blackmail him into working with them to help keep Sector 2814, to get all the scum out of Sector 2814, and unfortunately it backfires. How? Oh, you won't believe it until you read this. I don't want to spoil the ending because it kind of ruins the book, but I will say this. This is by far my favorite Lantern Corps book. Better than any of the Green Lantern books right now. Better than Larfleeze. Really. This is great. Guy Gardner is written so... the covers are a little bit... but Guy Gardner is written so awesome. And the Red Lantern Corps is a corps now that I've really, invested a lot in the characters. It's going to be interesting to see when Atrocitus gets his Red Lantern ring back, how he's going to try to take over the Red Lanterns. If he can retake over the Red Lanterns, maybe he won't. Maybe him and Guy Gardner are going to work together. We don't know, but it's going to be interesting regardless to see how when Atrocitus gets his ring back, how that's going to be handled. And the Red Lanterns are very happy under Guy Gardner's leadership. They don't want Atrocitus. They're actually happy he's dead. So maybe they won't even want Atrocitus back when he shows up.
I agree.
So I loved it though, but I just wish that the Red Lanterns consider the Green Lanterns the green, and they call themselves the red. What is it to say one more word, call them the Green Lanterns, and call themselves the Red Lanterns? Why do they have to do just, hey, we're the Reds and they're the Greens? Vegetables are green and apples are red. Please,
and oranges are orange. What? Oranges are orange?
Good book. Highly recommend you guys check out Red Lanterns. Best Lantern series in my opinion out there right now. Now you got 2 books in a row, yes, buddy, because I'm closing out the show. No way I'm letting your book be the last book on the show.
Oh, you're so kind.
I know.
Forever Evil August, issue number 2 of 6.
Well, mine is actually a Forever Evil tie-in, sort of.
Well, yeah. So, yeah. So we go into this comic book where Agent Steve Trevor is fighting off with Copperhead and Copperhead, I meant to say, and Deathstroke. Blockbuster makes a little bit of appearance in, and
so Shadow Thief.
And Shadow Thief, and here's some artwork.
Is that Mammoth?
Artwork's great.
Is this Mammoth?
No, that's Blockbuster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Colonel Steve Trevor is trying to save the president from all of what's been going on. So, him and the president work together on all this. And here is Killer Frost.
Oh, Killer Frost!
And she actually, I think this takes place after the Villains Month comic, where she talks about herself and how Firestorm made her the way she was, briefly. It was like what I read from Villains Month. And the Hotness makes an appearance in this. I guess she's a new villain, because I never heard of the Hotness, really. And she fights with Firestorm, and she's hungry for more, because, her, with all the fire wasn't enough. So, they're just having a little bit of the talk about a possession of an A.R.G.U.S key, which is actually going to play an interesting role in this issue, actually. And there's a bunch more that I really, really don't want to give away because...
Looks like a Green Lantern key.
No, that's the A.R.G.U.S key. They do use the A.R.G.U.S key, and after they use the A.R.G.U.S key, Colonel Steve Trevor encounters with something that...
well, it's from that woman's door, so...
Yeah, so he wants to make a deal about something with someone. I don't want to say who, because it's to be continued. Also, there's a Dr. Light who actually appeared in the very beginning, and he just leaves. He was just in one panel, and that was it.
One page.
Yeah. So it was like Dr. Light's Revenge in one page. Just, boom, just went away.
This kind of looks like the White Lantern symbol a little bit with the lines in the circle.
Yeah. But I really want to... First of all, this was an interesting issue along with the A.R.G.U.S key, which is actually going to play a little bit more of a key role, but I am going to do an in-depth review of that along with All-Star Western. This next book I'm going to review on Dark Avenger Inc., but you guys should pick it up and definitely read that.
So a piece of Forever Evil begins in this book.
Yes, Forever Evil, Justice League Dark, issue number 25.
Light begins.
Light begins indeed. So, when we open the comic book, we see John Constantine with Nightmare Nurse, and they're talking about, you know, what this this thing that looks like Swamp Thing does, and in comes in Swamp Thing just like
the real Swamp Thing.
All-Star Western, in comparison. And we all know that Swamp Thing doesn't like John Constantine and everything else about him and all that other stuff. So, yeah, so they're just talking about the House of Mystery that was protecting them from Swamp Thing's attack. And Nightmare Nurse sees John Constantine's true colors of what he really is. And they're just basically... having this power, like like some type of spell that they're doing, but there's something that is blocking them from doing that, and all the other things that happen. There's just so much that John Constantine does. He talks about a wave of darkness and the results that he saw up close from the last issue, so that plays a role.
Are those the sins?
No, these are actually the every living person on Earth. They like this right here is what he's talking about. I want to show more artwork because this is amazing artwork, definitely. And he's saying, John Constantine, we kill evil. And Sea King makes an appearance in this as well, right here.
Apparently he's still alive.
Yep. And they meet up with Blight. And I don't want to show you what Blight looks like, but basically he's just like this black darkness. And
for now, he does have a form.
Right, and he's taking, and he took over Swamp Thing, he took over Nightmare Nurse, but he's saying that Blight, John Constantine belonged to Blight in some way or another, like when he was born. And there's a little bit of where, what's their names? Where Lime and Cass make their appearance in this. They play with fire with these demons. And then the end of the issue, I've got to spoil this because you had to see this. And this actually makes sense why Pandora and Phantom Stranger showed John Constantine, because he got the Question, Pandora, and Doctor Strange, because they are the Trinity of Sin, and they are going to help him kill evil, known as the Crime Syndicate.
So we saw this scene now 3 times. Can we stop seeing it?
No. This is a different scene. He has them handcuffed on the ceiling. I'm saying the reason why, by the way, because he had a little confrontation with God after this. Now he found out that these 3 are Trinities of Sin to help him kill evil, because that is why he wants to form that. It's going to continue in Phantom Stranger 14, Constantine number 9, Pandora number 6. And then they're going to go into the Haunted City and all that stuff. So now it actually makes sense, which is why it's Book of the Week, that it actually makes sense why John Constantine appeared in the Phantom Stranger and Pandora comic book, along with the Question, because they're the Trinity of Sin, as the title says, and they're going to help him kill evil because that's what they do. So now it makes sense, and that is why Justice League Dark, even though it has a little bit of comparison with All-Star Western, John Constantine, Swamp Thing, but this was definitely just Book of the Week, Forever Evil Blight.
Now, just to end with one other book that's connected to Forever Evil, but no longer connected to Forever Evil. Teen Titans, issue 25. From the last issue, or the annual, we all know that Superboy, well, as you guys just saw in Superman 25, Superboy's dead, so now the Superboy that's tagging along with the Teen Titans is the John Kent Superboy, the son of Superman and Lois Lane. Kid Flash, as well as Solace, are in the future, and Interestingly enough, Kid Flash is not exactly Kid Flash. Like, he is, but he's not. Apparently, Kid Flash was, well, I'll get to it when we get to the end of the issue, but we all know Kid Flash talks in red, but towards the bottom of these two panels, you notice he talks in green.
Oh.
So apparently we're starting to see who the real Kid Flash is. The Teen Titans show up in the exact same time as Kid Flash, and he actually makes mention, oh my god, what was it, what was it, two minds on top of one another, and he kind of like just kind of falls over, he gets knocked out, and nobody likes Kid Flash in this future because apparently he was evil. And Solace wants the Teen Titans to take Kid Flash and get back to the present, because apparently this is the distant future. And Kid Flash wants to stay and know once and for all what is deep down in his subconscious. And they start to go through his memories, as apparently they took Bart Allen and they, oh, what was it? She explained it here. They put an artificial mind over. They put false memories into Bart Allen's mind, and basically created Bart Allen over Bar from the real Bar. Bart Allen's kind of the fake memories they put into him, and basically he promised to testify as a witness to something in exchange for his freedom. And it turns out that the real Bart Allen could be this guy right here. And also, a little teaser for Super. Remember I was telling you guys, Superboy 26 stars John, the son of Superman and Lois Lane, John Kent Superboy, to be continued in Superboy. So this issue ends on a huge note. It ends with Bart Allen finally getting the memories back of his evil, twisted past, and John Kent Superboy is now awake in a future where he has no idea how he got there, with Wonder Girl wrapped her neck wrapped his hand wrapped around her neck.
Wow.
Big things came out of Teen Titans this week. Interesting, but at the same time, I do not like that Bart Allen apparently was the supervillain in the future. Instead of it being, I forgot who it was back in the pre-New 52 world. But maybe he'll separate. Maybe, like he said, there's two minds, so maybe the false Bart Allen will be separated from the evil Bar, and like there'll be two. There'll be the reverse Kid Flash and the Kid Flash.
The other one, yeah.
Oh, whatever. Maybe Speedy and I don't know.
Well, let's not get too far.
Yeah, whatever it is, we're starting to get the origin of Kid Flash, and Superboy is now awake. Really good book. I didn't put these books in any specific order this week, guys. As you saw, my book of the week was Adventures of Superman. I literally just tossed them all over the place. And with that, we're done with this week's books.
So, see you later, guys.
Huge ordeal of books, huge amount of books this week. So, let's round out the books and let's close out the show, because I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and yeah, is done, folks. I have no energy left. Teen Titans 25, definitely something to check out, especially because it ties into Superboy and huge things with Bart Allen's origin. Justice League Dark 25.
Book of the week, and understand now why John Constantine was asking the question, Pandora and Fam Stranger, why he needed them.
A.R.G.U.S number 2.
Great, interesting issue with the A.R.G.U.S key. I'm looking forward to reading the next issue and seeing what the key actually plays.
Red Lanterns 25, the best Lantern Corps book out there right now. Definitely highly recommended. Superman 25, The End of Krypton returns. We all knew Superboy was going to die. We now know how. And, yeah, it ended on a nice note. Damian, Son of Batman, issue 2. Boy, oh boy. It's an interesting read, once again. It's a nice look into a possible future from the DC Universe. I leave it up to you guys. Flash, issue 25, I leave it up to you guys. If you want every single zero-year tie-in, you'll be getting it. If not, you won't. Jonah Hex 25.
Almost book of the week since Justice League Dark's book of the week. Great, interesting issue. It does have John Constantine and Swamp Thing, so you get a little bit more of that info in that comic.
Larfleeze number 5, things are starting to get serious. It's no longer a joking ha-ha book, so definitely something to look into if you drop this book because it was too Deadpool-y. Adventures of Superman issue 7, my book of the week. Highly recommend. If you want to see the real Superman, what Superman really is, this is the book for you. Nightwing 25 from the week of November 13th. Best book that was a 0-year time from that week, in my opinion. Next to Batgirl. Nova issue 10, but was issue 100. Highly recommend you guys check this out. Really good stories in there. Superior Spider-Man issue 22. I leave that up to you guys. Superior Carnage issue number 5. I feel like nothing happened this year now. This book brought us right back to point A with Carnage. Scarlet Spider issue 24. The stage is set for the final issue. But once again, Kane is going back and forth between I'm not a superhero, I am a superhero. So that's why this book is ending next issue. All New X-Men issue number 19 plays heavily into finding X-23, I guess, from Avengers Arena. Really good, definitely recommend it. Wolverine and the X-Men issue 38. A lot of questions about why Wolverine and the X-Men is being canceled are answered here. Definitely something to check out. Ultimate Comics X-Men, the Cataclysm tie-in, issue 1 of, I believe, 4. Definitely something to check out. Avengers Arena, the final issue, issue 18. If you have not been reading this series, then you definitely don't want this issue. If you have, then you will. Good ending, though. And Hawkeye issue 14, the Kate Bishop issue of Hawkeye. It was okay, but once again, can't wait to get back to Clint and see where that story finally goes. And with that, that's it for this week, guys. Don't forget to check out comicrelated.com, your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Don't forget to check us all out on Dark Avenger Inc., where we try to give you guys as many videos as we can each and every day, each and every week. This way, when you come back on YouTube, you have something new to watch. Also, don't forget to check out Comic Frontline. We are working tirelessly on that channel as well, or that website, I'm sorry, not channel, on that site as well, to give you guys as much content as we possibly can. Jay's been putting his heart and soul into it, and we've all been working to try to get some stuff on there as well. So everything's huge. If you haven't subscribed to Dark Avenger Inc., please do, because we try to give as much content as we can each and every week. And if you enjoyed this review, definitely subscribe to my channel. This way you don't miss out on a single review, and I'll be in your sub box. So all the reviews will be there. Look forward to the indie review, hopefully sometime earlier on in the, later in the week, but before the weekend, or maybe on Saturday, as we always do. Look forward to a comic book corner on the Superman Files. That will be sometime in the middle of the week. So we'll have the Superman Files, we'll have the indie review, and then come back here next week for another Dark Avenger comic book review. Definitely not as many books as this, thank God, but yep. There we go, guys. Take care, keep reading, keep collecting. Hope you had a happy and safe Black Friday, as well as you having today, since this is going up on Monday, a happy and safe, well, of course you're going to be safe, but a happy shopping day for Cyber Monday. Take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting, and I will see you guys in the next review. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.